Emergency press conference today, guys. I usually don't make the videos on the weekdays, but it looks like we are in for some Looney Tunes crap show coming up in the markets. The market has taken a turn for the worse. What looked like, 10 days ago could have been maybe a turkey rally or a Santa Claus rally. We are now getting smoked out into the oblivion. The market itself was down 2.5% today on the Qs and 1.44 on the SPY. So we have officially entered a crashy type of territory where anything can happen. So today I want to talk to you and take a look at the general indexes, put together just a quick game plan. And for a majority of you guys, you probably just want to stay out of the market. If you're a swing trader, a position trader, something along that end where you're long only, then I would just stay out of this market personally. There's a time and place to put in capital and go balls for the walls. And it's usually when you're in that kind of trending environment. For me personally, I don't take swing trades unless I'm over the 50-day moving average and it is steeply inclining up, because during those phases you get gap ups and all these kind of things. Anytime you're under the 50-day moving average, you get a lot of gap downs, and so you got to be careful. But let's take a look here at the general market. So the Qs has broken some support today, right? We had a nice bounce, a very nice oversold bounce that we nailed a couple days ago as we came down into these lows, and we had a big oversold reading. But now we've just run into the 9 EMA, and we are rolling over, and we have a lot of room to fall. Now, the only thing I think that's really holding up this market right now is that, even though we're down a lot, we're sitting right on that lower Bollinger Band, which can often provide a little bit of cushion there. Because anytime you really see like a candle knife completely outside the lower Bollinger Band, you get a little bit of a snapback for a day or two. So that would be my one caveat with the market. But you can see here today with Google, right, pissing themselves, that the market already was on a little bit of red flag territory. And then, dude, the bond prices are still, they got faded off at the 20 SMA, down 2.5%. I mean, that's a lot. These things are not supposed to move around that much. And so there's a lot going on there. So you got bonds shitting themselves, Google soiling its underoos, right? And then you've got the good old IWM here, testing right into its lows, where you have, if you're looking at a, say, weekly chart, I mean, you've got so much room to fall. And so this is also, right, a big red flag. Now, I will say this one's a little bit over. So you got a 9 stochastics on this, and the 9 EMA is a little bit a ways away. So it may fart around for a day or two. But this doesn't look like, right, like some big bounces setting up in this, at least in the near term. And so you've got another red flag there. Then if you look at banks, right, banks have been also soiling their underoos. And you can see here, right, just a big rollover. And then, of course, the big worry is, all right, like you can see with the CRE, like the regional banks are also, they're basically about to cut into, right, those May lows where you were seeing, right, SFVB and all these banks start to go under. So you got to be a little bit careful here. This is a no-go, right? I personally thought we were probably going to run into the close. It looked like maybe rates had topped out and the market was creeping itself. I was wrong. Thank God I'm a day trader, because I am a terrible prognosticator of the future, obviously. That's the best part about day trading. But some other things that have happened here. Look, AMD finally broke under that 200-day moving average. We tapped it for the second time. Busted, right? At this point. NVIDIA, and if we look in, let's add this post-market into this real quick. Dude, if this loses this 400-day, this 400 spot, right, you have probably the most bloated pig in the market. And I mean, you got all this room to fall. So you got to be really careful tomorrow. If we get, I don't think we're going to get a gap up, guys, because if you look at Meta, right, we had a little bit of a spike. Guys, they beat on estimates. They beat. Beat is good. And you pop for a hot second, and you got rolled. This is telling me that we are in a liquidation environment. What I mean by liquidation environment is that when you see strength in stocks, what people are doing is using it for liquidity. They're selling into it. And so you got to be really, really careful. You know, tomorrow, like, man, if this thing spikes up a few bucks at the open, like, we probably have to take this down because, like, look how extended this is too, right? Like, if you're thinking from here to here. And let's be honest, right? Man, I take that back. People that say, let's be honest, are the worst people in the world. I take that back. You didn't hear me say that, right? Because if somebody said, like, let's be honest, what are they really saying? That they lie all the time, right? So now they're saying, hey, I'm being honest, right? An honest person would never say, let's be honest, because it would be just assumed. So only some sociopath would say, let's be honest. And I just almost fell into that, but I took it back real quick. So don't worry. I'm not one of those millennials that sits there and says, let's be honest, or the people that do on Twitter the PSA thing, or unpopular opinion. So there's three things that are the sign of a sociopath. You say PSA, you say unpopular opinion. Like, you wouldn't say unpopular opinion unless you wanted your opinion to be popular. And then the people that say, let's be honest, right? So those three are the telltale signs of sociopaths. But I digress. If this thing pops up, we put the thunder of death on this. The market is oversold. There's no getting around it. But my spidey, tingly senses, man, things feel very cliffy, right? Did you guys see, like, what kind of happened with Turkey today? Holy crap. Let me see. Turkey. What's up? Yeah, right? Like, you know, you were down 6%. There's all sorts of fugazis happening right now. Why these bond prices are still going. And, you know, Uncle Jerome's in a hard spot right now. Uncle Jerome's in a hard spot, right? We all want these rates to go down so the market can go back to having a little fun times. But he don't want to put the rates down. And there's a lot of stuff going on. He can't even probably do it, right? So we've got a lot of things going. If this breaks the lows tomorrow, then I think that sets up for a little Friday fun. Tomorrow may be a little bit of an inside day. Not inside days. We're going to gap down because of meta. But if we don't crash, like, you know, off the bat, and what I mean by crash, like 2%, 1.5%, if we just we gap down and fiddle around, it is setting up for the Friday, Halloween, boogeyman. What's the thing before Halloween? I don't even know. I got to ask ChatGPT or something, right? But there's always that day right before the Halloween. That's where the nasty stuff happens. I think we're setting up for this. You know, look, Apple's right on a cliff right here too, right? You testing that 200-day moving average. But look, if this thing takes this out, like, it's done, right? So we've got a lot of things going on here. Tesla also, right? Bear flag, right? Tesla, bear flag. Apple, bear flag. Nvidia, bear flag. America, bear flag. If you're new, don't trade anything, but watch these stocks. I don't think you have to trade like small caps or anything like that. If you want something a little bit more mid cap, I would go with an AI. You're right at this level here. If you lose it, then I would go PLTR, right? If you take out this low right here, dude, it was down 8% today. You know, that's counting the after hours, but it was trending all damn day. And you can take the puts on this stuff, right? So like you can see, you can take the puts on this stuff. You know, you can do all this kind of stuff, but don't short into the lows. When you're oversold and the QQQ's at the Bollinger Band, don't short into the lows, but just know there's some peekaboo happening in the markets. As always, October is fun, but the boogeyman's coming out. Stay safe, guys. That's all I got. I see you tomorrow in the chat room. I'll probably hop on YouTube Live or some shit and get this thing going.